Hello, thanks for tuning in and welcome. My name's Josh, I'm a designer here at Sizzix, and today I'm going to be talking about the fantastic sale that is on the Sizzix website at the moment. It is a mixed media sale, so we have a massive range of mixed media products, dyes and making essentials available for you at discounted prices on the website today. The sale is going to be running until the 5th of this month, and it starts today. And you get free shipping. Almost forgot that. Free shipping for spends over £35, and over for our US friends that is $65. So for those prices it is free shipping. Now I've chosen just a few of the items off this list. It was so hard to choose because the range of items is amazing, and I love mixed media as well. So for me it was a difficult decision. I went with, in the end, some Tim Holtz dyes, which are some of my favourites. So I'm going to be making this lovely dimensional card here using the Tim Holtz Décor frames, just one of the elements off that die actually, and then this Brickwork embossing folder, which is also one of my favourites here. So you might notice today I'm on a still cam rather than having my lovely fiance Susie filming me, but she's off starting a new job today, which is really exciting, except I don't have her to film for me, so I'm trying to set it up in a way that's going to be really enjoyable to watch anyway. And with her working, we should be able to do this going forward. So I'm going to angle you down as I start my make here, so you can see the big shot over here, my old friend. We're going to be using, also in the available on this sale, some of our Sizzix mixed media board here. And I've chosen, so with this mixed media board, it's a thick board. I'm using a Bigz die, so that's going to mean that I can cut through this board. I'm going to be painting it, so I'm going to take some of the grey board here, because I don't want that lovely kind of off-white colour to show through, which is on the other boards. I'm just going to use some of the grey board as I'll be painting it anyway. So first things first, I'm going to cut out my frames. So this is designed to go through the Big Shot machine. It's the perfect size, and it's quite long as well, so you get quite a lot of it with each bit. So as I say, once through the machine. As this is a Bigz die, this is just going to pop right out there. So we're going to be using this die cut element. With this die set, you also get this element here, which is just a lovely kind of Art Deco style frame. So I'm going to keep my big shot here. I'm going to put this to one side and I'm going to cut the rest of my things. Well, not cut. I'm using my embossing folder. So just to show you how this works, I've taken a bit of our cobblestone cardstock here. I'm going to give it a spritz with water. Now this is just water, and it's just so it loosens up the fibres and it gives a better emboss. Now I'm going to look for the smooth side of the paper here. I'm going to see where the embossing folder is raised rather than an emboss there, so I'm going to put it in there that way. Now I'm only using this part of my multi-purpose platform because, as the instructions clearly state on the front, you can't lose them, this is how we sandwich it up. So it's one cutting pad, and we take the first leaf off the multi-purpose platform. There we go, and it's going to emboss like this. Now just look at that detail in the emboss. I love this embossing folder. One day I'm going to build a really kind of grungy style dollhouse, and I'm going to use this embossing folder because the detail is amazing, and we're going to be able to pick up, if we ink it, which we've done in the past, you can pick up all this detail, and just with the kind of normal inking pads, it just creates a really realistic effect there. But that's not what we're doing today, so we'll talk about that another time. I have prepared one of these earlier because I trimmed it down using a paper trimmer. Now, I'm going to get rid of my big shot, straighten up my work area just to make it aesthetically pleasing for you. And then we're going to get to work. So, I've got just a little craft mat. I'm going to use a tiny bit of black acrylic paint here. I might just put a bit more for good measure. Oh, probably too much now. Now I'm going to paint over my frame here. Now you'll see why I'm painting it black a bit later on. In fact, I'll tell you now. The reason is because I'm going to be using some gilding wax over it. And on these kind of mixed media style makes, I love it when the darkness beneath the gilding wax shows through, because I think it's a really lovely, kind of more realistic sort of movie quality effect there. Now I'm going to dry this with my heat tool. I'll just put that paintbrush out of the way. There we are, and that's all it takes with the heat tool. Now, I do need, bear with me for just 2 seconds. I'm still here. I'm just running to go and get a bit of tissue paper to give this a wipe down. Because I forgot I'm going to be using some other colours on it. So that'll do there. Now, I've also taken, so I previously measured this. Now, I've put this piece of cardstock. Now, this is from the Opulent card pack, which is also in the sale. And I've measured it to the back of here, so it's going to fit when I've inked it and stuff like that. I'll be able to fit and just show this piece through the frame there. Now, here's the fun part. Oh, we have a cat. Obviously we have a cat. Do you know what? He can stay to that side. I'm not going to kick him off the table quite yet. Just try to pay attention to me and not my lovely Kirby. So I'm going to use a sponge here. I'm going to give the sponge just a little spray. Do you know what? He is stealing the show. So I am going to take it and just plonk him on the floor. Now, just a tiny spritz with water on the sponge is going to kind of free that sponge up enough that I can get a good effect here. Now, I'm using a few different colours of acrylic paint. So any acrylic paint will do. For this make, I wanted it to be quite sort of pastel-y, so I went with some more pastel-y colours. Tell you what, I'm a tall guy, and not having my camera person is making it so I've got to bend down, but I'm going to have to get used to that. So I'm going to dip it in here, and I'm just going to go a bit wild here. So do some streaks of blue down these bricks, and as I say, these dies, so these embossing folders, they're just going to pick up the paint in all the right areas, and that's one of the absolute beautiful things about an embossing folder. So although this is essentially a Tim Holtz make, I am giving it a bit of a Sizzix spin by trying to add some nice kind of complementary colours to our colour story. Now I'm going to put that here and get rid of this paint thing. I bet I'll sit in it later. Now, this should be dry, so here is where I'm going to be able to glue this on here. So, do you know what? I'm going to apply the glue just to the edges here using some of our express glue. Now, you don't need much of this glue, but I just want to make sure that the frame stays on. I'm going to plonk that over there, and there we have a nice kind of framed brick wall. Just leave that for a sec for the glue to set. Now, while I leave that to set, I'm going to start layering up all my pre-cut parts from earlier. So I took some agave cardstock. Now again, this kind of mixed media style, I love agave as a colour. It goes with, if you want to keep it white and fresh, it goes with that. But then also if you want to kind of make it a bit more dark and grungy and mature, then, is mature the right word? I'm not trying to insinuate that bright cards are immature. I just mean a bit more grungy. Then it also goes with those sorts of makes here. Oh, thought I'd frame that well then. There we are. So just to make sure that there's a visible border with that cardstock there. Now what I would say is when you emboss, it does take that tiny little bit longer for the glue to set because you're getting less contact, less surface area from one piece of card to the next. Okay, that's done it there. Now, add a bit more to the back of here. And we're going to stick it on my card. I'm really enjoying at the moment having my cards open from the bottom rather than from the side. And I'm not sure why I've sort of gone towards that. Okay, now what I'm going to do before I put this on here, so I'm going to put this on the middle. When I do put it on the middle, I'm going to try to match it up with the rest of the bricks. So what it's going to look like is this frame is framing a really colourful area of this wall. That's the effect I'm going for. But first, I'm going to do a bit of paint flicking. I love paint flicking. Just making a mess and then tying it all together with these lovely details here. So I'm going to add a bit more of this paint. I've taken a spatula. Here, a nice flexible plastic spatula. And I'm going to give the paint a bit of a spray. Now what I do, I'm going to make a mess here, but it's okay because I can clean it up afterwards. And Susie's not here to tell me off. So, what you're going to do is, if you want a big surface area of splatter, you're going to put your thumb towards the end here of this spatula there. So we're flicking it like this. So you get a big surface area. I don't want that at the moment, so I'm going to put my thumb closer to the top and flick it like this. So can you see you're going to get a slightly smaller surface area. So here's a big surface area. Step a bit further away. Do you know what? That's perfect. I will add a tiny bit of the other colours, which I haven't done in my original card, but why not? I think that lilac's added a lot there. So again, I'm going to plonk that off to the side. Now, I'm going to take this piece of agave, and I'm going to use it as a bit of scrap actually, because I'm going to apply some of the gilding wax now. Now, let's see if I can show you close up how lovely it is when the gilding wax goes on there. So you end up with this lovely kind of dark glaze of bronze on there, which gives it a really nice feel. Okay, so that's all I'm going to actually, you know, I'll add a bit more. I never know when to stop with gilding wax. I think it's one of my downfalls. I love the stuff. Then we're going to glue this to the middle of the card. So use a bit of my express glue again, just in each corner. Oh, that's obviously too much. I'll spread that round a bit. Get some of you more tidy crafters at home screaming at the screen now as I'm making a big old mess. I'm going to stick that down, making sure that that is centered. It's like this. Look at the way the light catches this make. And now my last but not least part I'm going to use some of our Sizzix foam tape, and I'm just going to tear some of that off with my finger. I'm going to add it to the back of here. I'm going to try and measure it so that the part that's got the tape on is going to be the part that's within the frame, because I'm trying to layer it up properly. So I can peel the back off there, nice and easy. And that's it. And you know what? I could either stick it straight like this, or I could put it on a slight angle. There we go. I think I've already cut it a bit unstraight, so I'm going to stick it pretty much straight, just on a slight angle there. And there we have it. So get yourself over to the Sizzix website, have a look at the fantastic offers we have. The sale ends on the 5th, and remember, it is free shipping if you spend £35 or above, or if you're over in the US, that is going to be $65 or above. So I'll just angle you up again towards my face. And that's it from me. So thank you very, very much for watching. There's going to be pictures of this on the Sizzix website, and I'm also going to post it on my kind of Sizzix Instagram, which you can find by just typing in Josh from Sizzix. So thank you very much for watching, and